Questions continue to surround Serena's true identity and the reason she has arrived in Emmerdale. Her presence could soon create major drama after it is revealed that she has a connection to John Sugden. John lost his life during a violent confrontation with his sister, Victoria Sugden, in the woods after he attempted to kill her. However, the police officially believe that he died by suicide. Terrified that the truth about John's death would eventually come out, Victoria fled the village to avoid being exposed. As a result, the arrival of someone linked to the deceased former medic immediately raises suspicions. Serena's introduction was also far from ordinary. She unexpectedly approached Charity Dingle while Charity stood beside a lake, struggling with her mental health. Appearing from the nearby bushes, Serena comforted her and offered a listening ear, which Charity gratefully accepted. However, Serena's willingness to help a complete stranger has left many wondering about her real intentions. Could Charity have unknowingly placed herself in danger by opening up to someone she barely knows? Sarah Sugden also becomes suspicious when Serena casually reveals that she knows all about Robert Sugden's late brother, John. The revelation leaves Sarah questioning just how much Serena actually knows. Even so, Sarah decides to lend a helping hand after discovering that Serena has been living out of her car, inviting her to stay instead. It seems likely that both Sarah and Charity may eventually regret trusting Serena, unless everything she's doing is part of a carefully planned strategy. The biggest mystery remains: what is Serena really after? Emmerdale's Lewis learns Kev's biggest secret as kidnap drama comes to an end. Emmerdale viewers watched Lewis uncover the truth about his biological father after Ross Barton's rescue plan took an unexpected turn. The revelation came after Kev Townsend returned to the village during the dramatic kidnapping storyline involving a valuable diamond. With the truth impossible to hide any longer, Kev admitted to Lewis that he was his real father, but the confession did not receive the reaction he had hoped for. During the hour-long episode, Ross used Kev as bargaining power in an attempt to save Lewis from his kidnapper, Kylie. Earlier, Kylie had delivered a ransom demand, insisting that Lewis's father return a missing diamond known as Penny. Following the clues, Ross uncovered two shocking secrets. Kev was Lewis's biological dad, and he was still in possession of Kylie's precious diamond necklace. Ross knocked Kev unconscious and took him to the arranged meeting with Kylie, where the strange mystery was finally explained. Kylie revealed that she and Kev had once been in a relationship, and the diamond necklace contained the ashes of their beloved cat, Penny. After Lewis was safely rescued, Ross took the blame for stealing the necklace in an effort to protect him. He also tried to keep Kev away from Lewis, but Kev ignored the warning and unexpectedly turned up to tell his son the truth. Ross begged him to stay silent, yet Kev burst into a performance of father and son before finally confessing that he was Lewis's father. Kev pleaded for a chance to build a relationship, explaining that he had changed his life and wanted to make up for the years they had lost. Lewis, however, refused to forgive him, bitterly pointing out that Kev had never been there while he was growing up. "You never wanted me, and I don't want you," Lewis declared, before Ross ordered Kev to leave. Still struggling with the emotional revelation, Lewis later told Vinny and Ross that he needed some time by himself. However, Kev had no intention of disappearing. Later at the Woolpack, Nicola King confronted Kev, criticizing him for dropping such a life-changing secret on Lewis before walking away. Kev admitted she was right, but then stunned everyone by announcing that, instead of leaving, he had decided to remain in the village. Kane left reeling by Graham's shocking revelation as tensions explode in Emmerdale. Kyle Winchester believed he had found a way to cope with the overwhelming emotions caused by his father's cancer diagnosis, but his outlet turned into a dangerous string of barn fires across Emmerdale Farm. For weeks, the farm was plagued by an unknown arsonist whose identity remained a complete mystery. At first, suspicion fell on someone targeting Moira. Later, Robert Sugden became convinced that he was the intended victim. Cami Hadik even found himself blamed after being seen carrying a petrol can. In reality, Kyle was responsible for every fire, Struggling with feelings of rejection from Kane and terrified of losing his father, he lashed out by setting the blazes. His anger eventually escalated when he torched the car he and Kane had been restoring together after feeling repeatedly pushed aside by his dad. Graham Foster unexpectedly caught Kyle in the act and tried to guide him onto a better path. Rather than exposing him immediately, Graham encouraged the troubled teenager to open up to Kane and even arranged for him to join the cadets in the hope of giving him some direction. As a sign of his faith in Kyle, Graham gifted him a watch, believing the youngster simply needed someone to believe in him. However, Kyle's emotional turmoil led him to smash the watch against a wall. Although Graham believed the crisis had been dealt with, the fires returned after Kane received the devastating news that his cancer had not disappeared. The truth begins to surface when Lydia accidentally mentions that Kyle has Graham's watch, leaving Kane confused about how the two could possibly be connected. Realizing he can no longer stay silent, Graham decides to tell Kane the truth about Kyle's role in the arson attacks. Kane is left stunned by the confession, but what hurts him most is not discovering that Kyle started the fires. Instead, he is devastated that his son chose to confide in someone else, rather than turning to him. Some may see Kane's reaction as self-centered, as it only reinforces the loneliness Kyle has been struggling with. With his emotions running high, Kane confronts Kyle and demands answers, but whether Kyle finally admits everything remains to be seen. Emmerdale sets up Charity's next step after emotional confrontation with Mac. Emmerdale has paved the way for Charity Dingle's next major decision after she finally confessed the truth about baby Layla to her husband, Mac Boyd, including her traumatic experience with Dr. Todd. Charity has been carrying the weight of a devastating secret ever since Dr. Todd blackmailed and sexually assaulted her after discovering that Layla is actually the daughter of Charity and Ross Barton. Following an emotional encounter with Serena, a seemingly kind stranger whose connection to Charity is deeper than either of them realizes, Charity decides she can no longer keep the truth hidden. She knows she must eventually come clean, not only to Mac, but also to Sarah and Jacob, who believe Layla is their child. During the latest hour-long episode, Charity took the first step by confessing everything to Mac. Although furious, he listened as she admitted that she had a one-night stand with his close friend Ross. Charity insisted the affair had been nothing more than a drunken mistake, and explained that she had regretted it ever since it happened. She then revealed that the consequences of that night extended far beyond their marriage, as Sarah and Jacob had unknowingly become part of the secret as well. Realizing what she meant, Mac quickly understood the truth and was left horrified that Charity had known Ross was Layla's father while allowing Sarah to believe the baby was hers. Heartbroken, Mac told Charity that her actions had shattered his trust and warned that revealing the truth would also devastate Sarah while dragging an innocent child into the middle of the situation. Unable to face Sarah herself, Charity asked Mac to tell her the truth instead. Although he initially agreed, he ultimately couldn't bring himself to do it. Emmerdale is broadcast every weekday at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and is also available to stream on ITVX.